What's going on, fellas? Welcome to For Men by Men, a podcast where we take the internal thoughts of men to external growth, purposely creating an authentic generation of godly men. We are your hosts, Michael Aparicio,
Raji Rush,
Drexler B. James,
and Malik Williams. All right, so before we jump in, we want to just formally introduce ourselves and what we do. So go ahead and start us off. Who is Mike?
Michael
Michael.
You gotta use the formal name.
full name,
Put
government
respect on my name. No,
Hey,
let me stop.
You know,
government name.
So Michael is originally from Los Angeles, California.
L.A.
Yeah, man. Moved here when I was 13. I got older. And
As we all do.
I would hope so.
yeah, and I currently do real estate, more in the specific space of property management. I've been doing that for about 10 years. I like it, man. I get to help people, and a lot of people don't know about laws and what they can and can't do when it comes to owner and tenant side. So I'm the middleman that keeps each party happy. So.
So you the guy that gets the headaches.
Yeah, basically, I get the calls, I get the headaches, I get the why isn't this working, and how come my money hasn't hit my deposit on my account yet? So yeah, it's fun. The majority of them are overseas, so that makes it a little better because it's straight through email.
Okay,
but yeah,
cool.
That's me.
Awesome.
All right, so next is
it's me.
we gotta get this right.
Yeah,
It's a Drexler B. James.
Drexler.
B. Tell them what the B for.
The B.
Benjamin.
You gonna reveal my middle name? Yes, my middle name is Benjamin. So yeah, I'm Drexler Benjamin James. Born and raised here in Florida. Moved to Orlando in 2009. Graduate from the University of Central Florida. I worked for 3.5 years as a news reporter before I came back to Orlando to go back and get my master's degree. So I'm currently in grad school, and I work at UCF as the communication specialist and social media director for the College of Health Professions and Sciences.
Wow, look at this guy. Huh?
The Drexler.
The. You know what I'm saying? Let them know, man. That's what's up. I know. Where in Florida are you from exactly?
I'm from.
Hold on.
So I'm from Bradenton, which is in the Tampa Bay area.
Okay.
It's an imaginary place.
It's not imaginary. You drive past it when you get to Sarasota. If you get to Sarasota, you've passed Bradenton.
I drive through it like I wake up from a dream.
You know what? We all can't be from
All right,
Miami.
So I am Raji Rush. I currently work at Full Sail University. I am a affiliate marketing specialist, but I also am running a business called Native Lens as a photographer. So I've been working at Full Sail for about 4 years now. Love it. It's amazing. Very creative, artistic space. Allowed me to be creative and open up my mind to different things. And then being a photographer is always fun. Pressing shutters and taking pictures of babies.
All that good stuff. Everyone likes taking pictures.
All right, so you.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay,
After you.
not bad. I am Malik Williams. I'm originally from Long Island, New York. Moved here when I was 18 for college. Went to the Full Sail University.
The Full Sail. Excuse us.
It is, because all your media stuff probably comes from there anyway. It's true. Graduated in 2014. Worked at a million places. Literally, and now ended up at my church, which is Orlando World Outreach Center. I am it's a new title, it's visual content director, but media director, visual content director, same thing. Been there for about 2.5 years. Love it. Also have turned. One important thing: I make music. Forgot about that. Under the name Jelani Malik. And now I've turned that into my business. So I do videos, audio production, anything media-wise that you can think of besides pictures. I don't like editing pictures.
So do you want to spit a bar? I'm joking.
Maybe the next episode.
I say he's thinking about it.
I
though.
see it on the Breakfast Club
Nah,
all the
nah,
time. So I
nah.
figured that.
Yeah. No, I didn't come prepared.
okay.
Yeah,
All right.
they normally
So every
come
time you
prepared.
spit a bar, you're like, check it.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yes. There's
Check
no
it.
music. So it's like I
acapella.
can't even like fake it to think about it.
Yeah. I
You
don't
know,
do that to you.
They be thinking. They be thinking like,
Yeah, you think so?
when the music come on, they be like wasting like 16 bars. Like,
But
yeah,
For real though. Turn me up real quick. Turn me
yo,
up. Turn up in the headphones.
Yeah. Let me hear. Let me hear right here.
yeah,
That's just giving them time to think. Like, give me.
I mean, look.
yeah. I got another beat. Like I can't really flow over
Yeah,
it.
this ain't it. Y'all ain't got something else. I mean, I give it to them, man. People that can do that off the top of their heads. That's the gift.
Yeah, man. So we are going to move into a new segment because it's the first episode called the Business Spotlight, where we would like to highlight entrepreneurs and businesses. So, Mike, who are we highlighting today?
Today we are highlighting the one and only Raji Rush.
Claps.
Oh, is it even out here?
No, we had to call an audible.
Called an audible.
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
But
man.
who better to start with than
Man, I
One
feel
of our
so.
Mr. Lady Les himself?
I'm saying.
no, you're just your face. You look like those people at the
you're
Grammy
like,
Awards.
wait,
Like,
what?
wait, I won a new artist of the year. Which Raji?
Raji B. Raji.
I mean, yeah, man. So I appreciate the shout out, brother. Thank
Of course, man. You know,
Thank
this
you, man.
is
This is so cool.
this is great. This is good that we
Got a couple questions.
gotta honor you, man. I got some
Yeah.
questions for you.
Yeah,
All right,
what's
ready?
the questions you got?
Question number 1.
Yes, sir.
How did you get your idea for the business?
So first things first, my dad is a photographer. He's been photographing for longer than I've been alive, for like 35 plus years. So I've always had that creative background. You know what I'm saying? I grew up drawing. You know, both me and my sister grew up drawing and painting and whatnot. We went to art schools. So I've always had kind of a knack, you know what I'm saying, for photography, art, that side of things. And then one day, I bought a camera, took a couple pictures, and I was like, kind of like this thing called photography. What is this? Let me learn some more. So I started taking some more pictures, and people saw that I had some style, you know what I mean, in the pictures that I was taking. And I was like, yo, let's see what this looks like as a potential business making money from it, you know? And then I started thinking, okay, well, what should I name it? And I feel like that's one of the hardest things to think about. Like, what should I name the business? And I know a lot of photographers use their own name, you know, so it's like Raji Rush Photography. And that was
boring.
It's boring.
Yeah.
It's boring.
You know what I'm saying?
Raji Lens. Like, oh, look at this.
Yeah. So I went through this thing called Rush Images, and that was cool for a time, but I was like, nah, that doesn't define who I am, right? So
I get what you did.
you know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah, okay, cool. Let me see. And I was like, okay, well, what do I like to do? I like to listen to people's stories, right? And I was like, okay, well, how can I put that in the name? So I was like, okay, storyteller, story lens, then I was like, okay, well, I'm really into music as well. And some of my most favorite artists that I grew up with were like Common, you know, Mos Def, you know, Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul. And they're a part of this bigger group of people called the Native Tongues, right? And I was like, yo, Native Tongues, that sounds so cool, but how can I flip it with like a imagery, photography thing? It's like, well, Native Lens. And that kind of speaks to your perspective, your story, your image, your filter that you see through. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, that can really work. But then Native Lens, you gotta find that URL.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's the most important thing. Native with an E was already taken.
Yeah.
The business name wasn't taken, but the URL was taken. I was like, all right, we in 2019. I'm still kind of young.
Drop
Take
the
the E, yo.
Drop the E.
Yeah.
Phonetically, it still makes the A makes
yeah.
the I long, or the I makes the A long. Or something like. Am I right about that?
Something along those lines.
Yeah, something like, y'all get what I'm saying. So yeah, man. So I was like, okay, drop the E at the end. Phonetically, it still kind of makes sense. Native Lens, and yeah, there we go.
Well, do you know who Native? Have you heard of Native Tongues? Have you ever any of those groups that he just named?
I've heard of them individually, but I didn't know they were part of a collective group.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like, I think, if I remember correctly, I think it's like Tribe, De La Soul, Mos Def. I think Common's in it. I know Queen Latifah's in it.
Arrested Development was in it too.
Arrested Development, yeah. New School, what was it called? Something of the New School.
I know what you're talking about. But I can't remember either.
I feel bad. I can't remember the name.
It's all good.
Yeah, so that's what I grew up on, man. And I was like, yo, this is dope. Let me
It's good music
pay them some homage,
for sure.
type of thing.
Yeah.
All right. What's the mission of your company?
Ooh. I kind of said it already. I'll say it again. Honestly, it's really just to help people tell stories through photography, through the art of imagery. A lot
We'll
of
play
times.
some of his stuff up here,
Oh yeah.
in there, right in there.
But yeah, man, you know, I saw that people were just taking really nice pictures. Oh, you know, smile for the camera, cheese. And not many times are people asked about themselves, about their history, music that they like, you know, and then trying to put that into the photo. So there's like one photograph we'll put up here of a sister of mine, named Vasti. Can I name drop? I can name drop, right? Yeah. Named Vasti. Vasti, what's up? And she has this like really cool personality, but she has like this very model-esque or picture-esque look to her. And it really came out while we were taking the photographs, you know what I mean?
The black and white one?
Yes.
Oh yeah. That was a nice picture. Yeah, for
Thank
sure.
you, man. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
It kind of like broke the internet.
Yeah, for a little
Our
bit.
internet.
Yeah,
A
our
little bit.
internet.
Y'all know she's an undercover model. She
is
don't want to tell
undercover model.
nobody. But
She's very picturesque. She's very photogenic. And because I knew her, I was like, okay, well, let's get her into certain poses that really accentuate that side. You know what I'm saying? And then when I was doing the post-processing and editing it and how I edited it, I was like, okay, well, how can I make this picture look like her? And not necessarily, not just my vision, but her vision as well. So hopefully throughout the time that this business is running, like I can help people, and not just like, I mean, if I get a chance to shoot Will Smith, or you know, that's cool too. But
Get a chance.
but just the people that are in our circle, you know, the people that are just walking around, they have stories too, and they need to be told.
Man, you ain't take my picture.
Brother,
I be walking around.
go ahead.
do you be ready for the photos though? 'Cause he whip out his camera and that's a heartbeat.
Yes, man. Let's go on the website and shoot me an email.
Oh, God.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's basically the foundation of the company.
Okay. And so with all that being said, right, what do you feel sets you apart? What sets you apart from, I don't know, Kiki the photographer?
Right.
Like,
Because I don't just take photos just to make money. I mean, making money is great. Having your own time to do things are cool, but it's really about getting to know the person. You know, I want to make sure that while I'm taking pictures, even before that consultation period is more than just consultation. It's really learning who the person is. You know what I mean? And being able to identify maybe things that they like and maybe things they've never seen. You know, when Vasti saw those pictures, she was like, yo, this is me? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She was surprised at her own image.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
And there's nothing, I think there's very little that's greater when you show someone a side of them that they've never seen before and they're impressed with it. You know, it's like getting your teeth fixed. You know, it's like, yo, this is my smile? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Or you're getting your teeth clean. It's like, oh, okay, this is grit that was on my teeth. Like I just had to brush a little extra. That was a bad example, but y'all know what I'm saying. But you know, but it's really cool to be able to do that, to connect with the person and then provide them with the images that not only that they're looking for, but that they wish for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the slight, not really fantasy, but it's like that, man, if I can look like this.
Yeah.
You know, so I think connecting with them, it takes connecting with the person though, because if you don't connect with them, you don't even know what to deliver.
Yeah. You just show up and start taking pictures.
Yeah, okay, cheese. Okay, get in this pose. Okay, get in this pose.
Yeah.
And then I said, the pictures may look good, but is it them?
Yeah.
You know, I did a photo shoot and I named it Righteous and Ratchet. Because there was this dude I work with named Jermaine. Check him out too. He's an artist, I think.
Not sure what you're doing nowadays.
Yeah, he's an artist, I think. But you know, he had like he wanted some suited up pictures with a blazer on and everything. And then he wanted, you know, the gold chain and everything, and I wanted to capture both sides. the more kind of conservative side of him, and then the more ratchet.
Thug life.
Yeah, I'm saying? Yeah.
Street
Not
side.
thug, but like street,
The gangsters.
urban.
I mean,
Let's say urban.
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 You know
Good
what I
word.
mean?
You want to associate ratchet with urban?
Yeah, it's
I mean, that's the buzzword people come up with, but we'll go with it. We'll go with it today.
yeah. Let's just say urban.
Yeah.
So the more urban side of him as well, and I think being able to capture that was really cool. He was impressed with the photos. Being able to see both sides of himself as well.
What's up, man? So how can the public get in contact with you if they want to use your special skills?
My services. So I have Instagram, Facebook, and a website. So you can holler at me on Instagram at native, Nativ, no E, Nativ.lens, Lens. Facebook, same thing. And then my website, nativlens.com. That's nativelens.com. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate y'all.
All right. Well, that is the end of the first segment. Yeah, I got to do that. All right, so let's jump into the main topic now. One thing about us, we all love music, and music is a driving force in a lot of what we do, and we feel like music tells stories. So you'll find in a lot of the titles probably won't make sense to you until you listen or until you watch. So watch, please.
And listen.
And listen.
And subscribe,
Leave a comment,
and follow.
and do all of that.
Yeah.
But today's episode, so everybody listened to Jesus is King from Kanye West.
Yes, sir.
Mixed opinions, but we're not really here to talk about that. But one of the most popular songs on there was Selah. So I've always heard the word. Like, all right, let me just go look up what it's called or what it is. But it is interpreted as meaning forever. So Selah is always at the end of a verse or a chapter. So when I think about forever, I was like, man, it's like forever. And then I had to,
Forever.
I was like, when he said, I was like, I know that was so weird.
but then I just thought about the bigger question, which is, do men have a problem with commitment?
That forever.
The forever, whether it be relationships, work, family goals, personal goals. It seems like more and more men don't want to commit long term to things. So, hot topic. Let's jump in. What y'all think?
The answer is yes.
All right, that's the end of the episode.
Right. I was like, we could just end it right
All
there.
right. Well, thanks for coming. No. So I don't want to speak for all men, right? 'Cause I don't want to do that. I don't know the world.
Speak for one man.
I want to speak for one man. So for me, yes,
Speak your truth.
I do have commitment issues. I know where they stem from. It has been an ongoing process for me to heal from that and deal with that in order to be able to commit to things, right? So I've never really I think the only thing I've fully committed to in my life right now is God. Outside of that, there's not a lot. And work. Like, I've been doing property management for 10 years.
Hope you would commit to that.
Yeah, right? Outside of that, relationships, just decision making, like stuff like that. Like, I've always had like in my old life, I would always say, oh, I'm a free spirit, just kind of, and then a good pastor of mine who mentored me did my one-on-one. He was like, oh, you're like a tumbleweed. And I was like, what'd you call me? You're like a tumbleweed. But it made sense. The analogy of when you think of a tumbleweed, you just think of it blowing everywhere. It's not set anywhere. It's not like there's no purpose. It's not in place. It's just like wherever the wind blows, it blows. So
Gotcha.
So you said something. You said where.
Yeah, I know where it started for me.
But do you think like men know? Like, to your point where you say men, do you feel like men have a problem? Do you think most guys know like where it stems from?
I feel most men do, but so we have a thing where we manipulate ourselves, right? So I think most men do, but they act like it's not that. You know what I mean? Like, I have this issue, but it's not from that. That's just, you know what I'm saying? That's something else. But no, but it is that. Because if you listen and they don't talk about it, they don't, you know, so it's a thing that happened in your life. But it's not that. Like, don't worry about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have this issue. I need to deal with this issue. But don't open that door. Keep that door closed.
Mm-hmm.
So I think most men do, but it's dealing with that actual issue is what keeps them from committing.
Yeah. You have a
Well, I was just gonna say,
say what you gotta say.
Speak up.
Speak up.
Say what you
as
BJ.
as far as committing, I would say I think men do have an issue with commitment. I think men don't like to commit to something that they don't see a purpose or an outcome for it. I think men, we're very, very strategic. At least I am. I like to look and say, what's going to be the benefit for me committing to this? What's going to be the purpose of me committing to this?
Oh, so you selfish.
I mean, yeah, for certain things like my health, you know, me committing to my health, what would be the purpose of me working out and eating right? You know, is there a long-term purpose? If I don't see a need for me to do it, I'm not going to
do it.
commit fully to it.
That's
so
real.
You weigh the pros and cons before you commit.
Yeah. And that's with anything, relationships, work, anything. I'm just like, what's going to be the long-term commitment goals that I'm trying to achieve?
I get that.
Is it healthy to do that though?
Yeah.
I mean, when I think about friendships, like if you're just meeting somebody, I'm like, oh, I want to be your friend. Let me weigh the
pros and
level
cons
of me having conversations with you.
What am I getting out of it?
It's not healthy in every scenario. Some scenarios you do need to weigh them, but no, it's not healthy in every situation. But I mean, sometimes you do approach some friendships or relationships with the mindset of, is this worth my time? Is this worth my effort?
No, definitely. Most definitely. You should.
I think with what you were saying about the weighing, man, I think the downside to that is that relationships and even the way or the terms of the commitment changes with time. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when you first start dating someone, you're not fully committed. You know what I mean? And then, or your relationship is different. You know what I mean? So you may even say, okay, we're exclusive. That's a certain type of commitment. And then, okay, we're dating. Then that's a commitment. You know what I mean? And it's okay. Well, we're engaged. That's a commitment. Like you're committing to marry. And then now we're married. That's a completely different commitment. You know what I mean? So the terms of the commitment may change. So I feel like if you put too much weight on that first initial decision to commit and start weighing your pros and cons, you might make a bad decision and not commit to something that could potentially in the long run be healthy, but you don't see it right now. Or commit to something that in the long run could be unhealthy, but you don't see it right now. You know what I'm saying? I definitely agree that some things do require some balance.
Yeah, most definitely. I think for me, like when I think about commitment, I think I had a problem with it, but it was because I didn't see it from the people I needed it from when I was younger. So for me, it was like, oh, well, you know, I don't get to see my dad as much. So I'm just not about to respect these women out here.
True.
And
savage.
Hey, it was wrong. It was wrong. I was wrong.
You're gonna get so much crazy comments. You heard what Malik said.
I'm sorry. I personally apologize.
We're just speaking from experience, fellas.
That's gonna get the comment section lit up though. Like, wait, what?
But yeah, I mean that's pretty much like what it was for me, where there was a point in a time where I was like, is like marriage a thing? I could see myself just dating a girl for 10 years. But now I'm like, yeah, that's the dumbest thing in the world. Like, why are you dating somebody for 10 years?
Yeah.
Like, why you're just, boy, she's my girlfriend.
Yeah.
For 10 years.
That's a decade.
It's a whole decade. Like, there's somebody out there right now who's been dating somebody since 2010.
Yeah.
And they are still just
dating.
And shout out to her.
Is it really a shout out to her though?
Shame.
I mean, she's
in there.
She's committed, but
she's committed. She's stuck in there.
You know in like 2014, 2015.
Didn't what's his name do that? Joel Santana.
Yeah.
You dated his wife for 10 years, and then decided to get married to her.
It's like, but in 2014, 2015, she was probably like,
I can't judge. I mean, everybody's timing is different. But to me, that sounds ridiculous.
Okay.
That's a long time. It sounds ridiculous, but everybody's timing is different.
But what's the difference? Okay, so 10 years, right? Yeah. Most likely you're living together.
Okay.
Right.
You probably got joint accounts.
Yeah.
You're probably doing everything married people do.
Kids, yeah. And you're probably legally married, honestly, because 7 years is common law marriage.
Depending on the state.
Yeah. So you're probably
Yeah.
married already, bro. You just don't know. You just don't know yet.
So is it just it's literally, I feel like it's literally like people fear the word commitment.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and that stems from their experiences. Mm-hmm. Like, so I told you, I know where my commitment fear comes from, right? So cool. Again, from Los Angeles, right? Mother and father aren't together. You know, I grew up in the 80s. Crack was big in Los Angeles in the 80s. We all know that's history. My father just happened to be one of those people that chose drugs and partying and liquor over that. Mm-hmm. Mother found son, she kicked him out, right? But every now and then he would step in and out. Christmas, he would come over and drop over a train, and then I wouldn't see him for the rest of the year. Whatever, but I still remember those points. She reached out to him. It was like, hey, we're moving to California. I mean, we're moving to Florida. You want to come by and see him? We're going to leave this day. He was like, okay, yeah, I'll come by and see him. Mm. Right? All right, cool. Hey, I'm going to come by and see you before you leave this and that. But okay, cool. Right? That day comes. We packing. No daddy. You know what I'm saying? Walking to the car, putting the stuff in the car, looking back. No daddy. Right? I'm in the back seat. My mother even waited a little bit to see, and then she was like, hey, we got to go. Right? As we were driving off, to this day, I remember it vividly. This is one of the most vivid things I can remember. To this day, I remember looking back at the window as my mother's driving off. And in that moment, in that space of time, is when I told myself that I would never let anyone hurt me like that again. Mm-hmm. I would never, no one's going to do that to me ever again. No one's going to lie to me. No one's going to, that, what I was feeling, it's never going to happen again.
Yeah. And
that's where I know my life went the way it went, but all that to say, my fear of commitment is from that. And that was, I'm 37 years old now. Yeah. That was however long ago. Things like that stick with you. Mm. At 35 is when I decided to give my life to Christ and change my life. So for all those years, I was out here just, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, girl, I love you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I changed my life. Right?
Saying it enough that you believe it.
Yeah. I mean, it was a word. The truth of the matter is, for me, I don't understand love. And it could be because, my mother was a single mother. She had to work 3 jobs. I wasn't nurtured. At 8 years old, I'm cooking and ironing clothes and taking care of my sibling. I had to grow up quicker than I needed to. And then in the neighborhood that I grew up in, you're not walking around, you know what I mean? It's just a whole nother atmosphere. So my whole life, I'm not trying to, this isn't a boohoo moment, but my whole life, I didn't get, that's why it's important to have mother and father in household. Yeah. Because mother gives the child one thing, father gives the child the other thing. When my mother was there, but she was there financially because she had to work. That's just what it was, right? So more or less in that space, I didn't have both parents, and so I'm literally doing life alone. Right. And I'm learning all these things alone, learning how to be a man alone, which is where I made my mistakes. Learning how to deal with women alone, which is where I made my mistakes. Learning what love is at 37 years old, trying to understand that. And throughout that whole time, not really committing to anything besides God, not really committing to anything. So it's we all know where it stems from.
It's so crazy, man, as you're telling your story, how there could be multiple different avenues to non-commitment. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I'm listening to your story, and by no means I mean it's disrespectfully, but there's a lot of people with a very similar story.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Where mom and dad are just not, or dad's not in the picture, mom's not in the picture, both of them are not in the picture. They work too much. One left you, one died. There was an absence of parental love and parental, presence. You know what I'm saying? That led to not being able to commit. And it's crazy because for me, my route was totally opposite. Mom and dad were in the picture. Dad was overly in the picture. You know what I'm saying? He was at I did boxing, so, you know, he was at my matches. He was my coach. You know what I'm saying? He was at the parent-teacher conference. You know what I mean? When I got in trouble at school, most people were like, I'm going to call your mom. No, for me, it's I'm going to call your dad. I'm like,
Wait.
Whoa. Do we really have to go there?
Yeah,
like that. I can't
let's
do
talk about this.
Yeah, I can't do no extra homework or something, some extra credit. But yeah, man. So, but for me, my dad had like anger issues. You know what I'm saying? So his anger issues he'll flip out. I've gotten called every name in the book by my own father. You know what I'm saying? I've been, and we've reconciled, but when I was younger, you know what I'm saying? Fighting, we would fight, you know what I'm saying? We would, well, it was really just mainly him, like cursing me out like I'm a dude on the street, you know? But then the next day, oh son, I'm sorry. You know, you're my prince. I love you. I would never do it again. And then it's like,
Back at it next day.
Yeah. I'm getting cursed at. I'm getting hit. So that commitment issue was crazy, right? Because now someone that's supposed to be loving to me, he's not. He's unloving one day, loving the next. I don't even know what to expect.
Yeah.
So
confuse you.
Like you though, you start to retract.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I'm never gonna get treated like this ever again.
Yeah.
So it's crazy how like all these different avenues can lead to the same.
Yeah. I think the like crazy thing, like for me, it was like, so my dad and my mom were never married. When I think like within like a year of each other, they both got married to different people. And like it was drastically different. Like I hated my stepfather. I think at the time it was like as a kid, I'm like, well, I see all these other kids with their mom and dad. Why do I have to have these other parents involved? So I think the hatred was misplaced at first. But then along the years where it started becoming like physical altercations and stuff like that. And then it'd be like, dang, like I can't even tell my dad what's going on. Like, because my dad is done moved to another place. Now, I don't fault him for doing that because I know it put him in a good spot, put him in a better position even now. But seeing, like, looking at myself in high school, I'm like literally dreading going home because I don't want to have to get into a fight with my stepfather because, like a literal fight with my stepfather for any random thing because we just weren't clicking that day. So for me, it was like trying to figure out who I want to be committed to. And like, dang, like I can't call my dad and say, hey, here's what's going on. Because eventually that did happen and it blew up and it was this whole thing. But it's like, dang, like, and then I'm looking at my mom and I'm like, yo, you see what's going on and you're not saying anything. You're not saying anything at all. Like, why? Like, can you see me? And it took a while where it was like, man, like I felt that I was being seen by women at school or girls at school because they were girls, but being seen by them and everybody thought, oh, you the cool, quiet person. Like I used to talk a lot. I know it's surprising y'all.
No, let me stop.
But I used to talk like a lot. And then after all that stuff happened, I just kind of shut down. But they used to be like, oh, you're the quiet, mysterious dude, or you play the music and stuff like that.
quiet, mysterious dude. Mysterious Malik.
Yeah, here comes Mysterious Malik.
But for me, it was just like, all right, yeah, that's just another person I can put under my belt. Like, and it's like, just dealing with like, I'm replacing my commitment issues with my family with like, oh, I know this person gonna be here. I know I'm gonna go to school and I can we can get this girl down the hallway and
you getting confirmation from other people.
Exactly.
Getting that check mark.
And it wasn't, and you know, got into some situations that I wish I never was in.
Yeah.
And you know, it really took until college where I was able to like tell my mom like, hey, I didn't feel like you saw me. All this stuff happened. Some things she didn't even know happened.
Wow.
Where it was like, you know, I'm going out and learning how to wrestle on a wrestling team, not because I like it, because I know I need to defend myself. I'm trying to remember everything I learned in karate, because not just because I needed to defend myself on the street, which I did because, living in the hood, but nah, it's just, I got to defend myself at home too, because I never know when something's going to pop off. But yeah, man. So commitment is just like, it was a weird thing. It wasn't until like you said, where I really gave my life to Christ, where things just started to make sense and I had to unpack.
Yeah. We getting deep in this first episode.
I also just wonder too, does like everyone's definition of commitment make a difference too? And I ask that because there's a song by Monica called Commitment, and there's a line in it. I love the line, but it kind of almost doesn't make sense. But the line is like, I don't want money, I'd rather effort. And she's basically saying, I'm committed to you if you're making an effort. And it makes me think, but what type of effort? Because I know some people that'll be like, well, I'm committed to this guy because he calls me every Thursday. It's like, but that's all the effort he's putting into it, but you're going to stay committed to him.
But what about Tuesday?
Right. Like,
right. What's your definition of commitment?
Ooh, crickets.
I think it's still developing. In my mind, I think commitment is being full into something. Like, you're willing to do whatever it takes to put in as much effort as you possibly can.
But now the person can define their level of effort. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really subjective.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Everyone's definition alters how much, my definition of commitment alters how I work, but it may not be your definition of commitment. Yours is different. So you do it differently. And now I'm like, well, you're not as committed as me. And it's like, well, you're committed to your effort and your definition versus mine.
Yeah, I think that's why it's so important. Kind of, I like to circle back to the point. Yeah, feel me? Getting back to the actual question, do men have a problem with commitment? No. I think men have a problem with what they commit to. So
that's right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No, I don't think they have a problem with commitment. And we talked about it.
Yeah.
We talked about it a little, the other day where, men, we work out, you know what I'm saying? We watch the game on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? We go play pool with the boys. We play ball. We can commit to all these other things. Why can't we commit to our lady? Or to things that maybe have a little bit more moral and ethical importance. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So to your point, I think it's important. Why'd I say it like that?
You wanted to make a point.
It's important. It's important to figure out what's important to the lady, and then commit to that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we all know 5 love languages. That's a bomb book right there.
It's like the voice of the 2010s.
Right. So being able to identify what's important to whoever you're with, right? And it doesn't have to be necessarily a romantic relationship. It could be a friendship. You know what I'm saying? Understanding what my boy loves. Like if we love cars, cool. Like I know I can hit him up about cars. You know what I'm saying? We love music, cool. I know I can hit you up with music. You know what I mean? There's an understanding of what each other loves. Or at work, you understand your responsibilities and your role at work. So now you're able to fulfill that priority. You know what I'm saying? So I think being able to understand like what the other party wants, and then now you have something to commit to. But it takes empathy and understanding first.
And you gotta be willing. You gotta know that you are willing to commit.
It's true.
Right? Like you gotta know, okay, I'm ready to commit. Because then you're just out here wasting people's time,
right?
And like it's just damaged souls after damaged souls after damaged souls. There's a verse that I like, since we were talking about the Kanye West album earlier, where he has a song with the Clips, and No Malice has in his verse he says. A lot of damaged souls, I done damaged those. And in my arrogance took a camera pose. Like that was hard. I was like, man.
Yeah.
Because I mean.
In my damaged soul?
No,
say it again.
A lot of damaged souls, I done damaged those. And in my arrogance took a camera pose. He's out here in the streets and doing what he was doing.
Yeah.
And, we all know
being arrogant.
Yeah, like taking pictures of women and doing whatever else they were doing. I mean, we know the stories of the Clips. If you don't know who the Clips are, we know like what their background is and what they rap about. But that was hard to me because I was like, man, like, yeah, like I remember going out 7 nights a week. You know what I'm saying?
Dang, bro.
Man,
like all the nights.
This episode 1
every night.
This episode 1, man. By episode 10, I feel like my whole life gonna be out here. It's episode 1, yeah. But I remember going out 7 nights a week. You know what I'm saying?
7
You know how they got
How was the club on a Monday? I'm curious.
Man, the club on a Monday is whatever you make it, basically. Like you,
That's a real person that goes to the club 7
exactly.
days.
Look, man, like it doesn't matter what day of the week you go. It's who is with you, right? That's what it is. It's who's with you. Like I'm not walking out to the. I'm not walking. I was like, wait, what? I'm not walking out to the club alone. Anyhow, but like going out to the club, and they take the little club pictures of you and your boys, or you and the friend that you're with, and all that. And it's just like, at the end of the day, it's a picture full of damaged people.
She had 7 pictures during the week, bro.
Nah, I wasn't a picture guy. You might catch me in the back, like walking around, but like, I don't know. I wasn't a picture guy, but I used to go out 7 nights a week. Yes, that's for another podcast.
7 though.
Oh,
All right, so
where real money come from? Bro?
yeah, that's
going to be for the other podcast. Also.
Yeah, we're gonna dedicate a whole podcast.
Right.
And just call this.
Just based off of Mike's life.
How did you fund 7 days worth of party?
This season, Mike's life.
Right. Just popping bottles.
So just to jump to the next part, so we understand that it's not necessarily us men having a fear or problem with commitment, but it's what they commit to. So how do we as men commit to commitment?
Commit to commitment.
So as how can I say this?
Think it through, brother.
Yeah, there's always commitment is either you do or you don't, right? If you do, then there probably isn't any underlying thing or in the past, or if there was, you've dealt with it and you've processed because you're over that, right? Like if I was scared of clowns, and I didn't want to go see the It movie, and then I went and saw a counselor and I got healed from being scared of clowns. I can go see the It movie whenever I want. That's not an issue anymore, right? So it's if you know that you, like myself, have a fear of commitment, then you need to figure out where that stems from and deal with it. Because commitment, it more or less guides your life. You got to commit to everything. You got to commit to work. You got to commit to getting up and going to work. You got to commit to the gym. You got to commit to driving. You got to commit to, if you go to the gym and all that stuff, but life is about commitments. Like you can't escape that. Like you got to commit to paying your mortgage. You ain't gonna get up one day and be like, what? I'm straight. I ain't finna pay this month. Like, no, well then they're gonna come take it from you, right? So commitment runs our life. So it's best to figure out why won't I commit? Like this comes from something, right? And for me, I know what it is, and I'm dealing with that, and I've dealt with it, but there's still more. Like I still have, like every now and then, like there's a thing that has been told to me about someone having safe passes through your mind, right? When my father crosses my mind, it's not always safe passes, and I have to repent and say, God, like forgive me, like it's an ongoing thing, right? So at some point I'm going to get better at it to where my father will cross my mind and I won't feel a little rage or a little like, you know what I'm saying, man, this is your fault. Like my life was the way it was because of you. And at that point, then I'll feel, you're never going to fully be there, right? The issue is always going to run through your mind. It's how you're dealing with it, I feel.
I think you could fully be there.
Where you can be fully healed from it. Yes.
There's no
like rage. Yeah, no, I'm not going to be in rage for the rest of my life. Yeah. It can run through my mind, but like what I'm saying is it's always going to be there. So until that's like healed or whatever the situation is, you don't want to keep throwing yourself in something, because what's going to happen is like, I feel like the enemy will use that little thing, and you'll see it in the person that you're trying to be happy with. You'll see it in the person that you're trying to, build something with. And you're like, my father used to say that to me. You know what I mean? And that turns into something else. So like, my father used to do that. You know what I mean? So you don't want to, you want to make sure that you're clear about all that so that don't even come up.
Bruh.
You know what I mean?
You speaking right now, bruh.
I also think.
What you think?
I see.
What does Benjamin think?
They were like, wait, who's Benjamin? Is that the fifth guy?
I I see discipline as a big part of commitment. You have to make a choice every day that you're going to be committed to whatever it is.
That's good, Drex.
I always use working out because that's just an easy example, but you have to make the choice every day to get up and go to the gym. You're not always going to feel like it, but you said you made that commitment. You have to just get up and say, am I going to stick with this commitment, or am I just going to do what feels convenient?
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you aren't disciplined in your life, you won't be committed. And that's with anything. If you are not disciplined with getting up and saying, you know what, I'm going to speak to my wife and talk to her and see how she's feeling. I'm going to get up and make a choice to be disciplined, to get to work on time, do my job from 8 to 5 and not be on social media the whole time. Well, if you're not supposed to be on social media, I get a pass because I can be on social media.
But cheater.
I mean, that's my job. I'm the social media director. So, but
Are you though?
Are you directing social media?
Yeah.
Are you directing people on social media?
actually, yes. I
Or
am.
are you posting pictures of yourself from 10 years ago?
That's on my lunch break. That's my lunch break. I do have a
Going
committee.
there.
I do have
We
a
are
committee
going
under
there.
me. But
You
no,
know what? Pause. If y'all see any of his pictures,
You know who you are.
y'all know who it is. You know
Yeah.
exactly who it is.
It's
if you
the
see
bee.
his pictures, just put some googly eyes.
That's
on
what's going to be
the
from now
comments
on.
on his pictures.
That's what it's going to be.
That's it. Whenever you see them pictures, because it's gonna happen again.
my pictures aren't that crazy. Don't let them fool you and think my pictures are crazy.
Just let them know you see him and that you heard this conversation.
Okay, well, moving on.
Yes.
It is it is a daily choice. You have to get up and say, I'm going to stay committed to this no matter what you feel. To me.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. It takes going back to that word effort. You know what I mean? First of all, figuring out where the direction is, right? Now, okay, cool. Now we got to put the effort into that direction. And it kind of reminds me of a Bible verse.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? That I think goes along with that, Galatians 6:9. And let us not grow weary of doing good,
Mm-hmm.
loving our wives like Jesus loved the church. You feel me? Being excellent, at our jobs and our day-to-day tasks. Let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. And I think that's so great because so many times we have nothing to hope for.
Yeah.
We do good and then receive bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And then give up.
And then give up.
That's the world we live in.
You know what I
now.
mean?
Like,
But I think being reminded not to give up because in due season we will reap is a hopeful word and a hopeful thought. And I've even seen it like in my marriage where, there are times where it's like, man, it's hard, man. I'm over here dying to my flesh.
Every day.
I'm talking about like
Every second.
Every day.
you ever seen that Simpsons episode? Was it Simpsons or Family Guy episode? Is where the guy like walks out the call center and he unzips his own skin. Y'all ever seen that one?
I think that's Simpsons.
I don't know. But anyways, I feel like I'm just unzipping skin.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Dying to flesh, boy. And it's like, man, I don't see no changes. And then one day,
Voila.
change happens, and it's just like, but not just on my wife's part, but on my part.
Yeah.
I feel different. I feel more equipped.
Yeah.
To love my wife from maybe very heated discussions that we've had. Not really heated, but just
Disagreements.
just disagreements, and it's like, man, we've grown from
Special
this.
conversations.
Special conversations.
You married people got special words for
Right. They got code words for everything.
Single people be like,
Right. They be like, well, these are just special conversations. It was an argument.
Nah, a special conversation, man. My wife and I don't.
You'll understand.
Yeah, we're gonna call it S-cons.
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 Okay, well, I'm still gonna call it an argument, but
S-cons. You know what I'm saying?
Remember this.
you remember this.
Remember this day, man. Yeah, man. But like, when you're having those S-cons, you know what I'm saying? We really should make that a thing.
It's a thing.
S-cons.
It's a thing now.
It's a thing,
S-cons.
man. Hashtag S-cons. But yeah, man. So when we're having those conversations, and then we're seeing the growth from it, it's like, yo, this stuff really works. Don't give up, and then it becomes more of a. It's like looking back at your track record. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, we've been through this and we've grown from it.
Yeah.
That means we can go through some more and grow from that too.
Yeah.
And I think seeing it not just in relationships, but in everyday life is important to realize. Well, I've gone through this, and it didn't kill me. You know, like the whole saying, "Are you dead though?
Mm.
Did you die though?"
Yeah.
It didn't kill me. I've learned from it, and I've gotten better from it. All right, cool. So I'm going through something right now. That means I can learn from this. I can grow from it and get better. You know what I'm saying?
Cool. So, everybody made good points. The scripture that I'm thinking of that I want to leave us with really is Colossians 3:23. Whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for men. So whatever we decide as men to put our commitment to, whether it's going to the gym, talking to a coworker, sharing your faith, not spending money, saving money. All of it.
Drexler felt convicted. Preach, brother.
But do it as if we're working for the Lord, because in reality, we are.
Truth.
Every single thing that we do, we are working for God because God gave us the gift.
Amen.
I mean, that's our ultimate why.
Yeah.
When people are like, why are you so committed to doing these things? This is why, because I'm doing this for God, not for you.
Yeah.
So, fellas, we want to leave you with a challenge. So, quick thing, this podcast is not going to be weekly or bi-weekly. It is going to be monthly. Why? Because the goal of this is for you to have conversations with the men around you. So we are challenging you over the next 3 weeks to find a group of men, or if you can't find a group, find one guy and ask them, what are you afraid of committing to?
That's good.
And then, after you have that conversation, come back to the comments and let us know how the
Let us
conversation
know in the
went.
comments. Please be nice to each other too.
Yeah, please be nice.
Yeah.
And ladies, if you made it through this whole thing,
Yeah. Be nice.
just
Be nice.
please.
Be kind.
But still,
Be
this
respectful.
goes for you too. You know, what do you feel
Yeah.
are things that you are afraid of committing to? Put it in the comments as well.
Or
We're human.
what your man ain't committing to.
I'm not gonna lie. In the back of my mind, I'm like, I feel like some girl's gonna turn to their boyfriend and be
I feel like
why
we
are you
have
not
specifically
comments with
said-
different names. My man name is Gerard, and Gerard is afraid of.
Don't tag them. That's petty. Don't do that. That's the opposite of what we're doing here.
So I think a good wrap up is, making sure that we're understanding what to commit to,
Yes.
and then putting in the effort
Yes.
to commit to it.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I think one last thing is like checking in. You know what I mean? Having accountability.
Yeah.
Like,
Accountability is big.
Like, every maybe 2 or 3 months, I sit down with my wife and, hey babe, am I good? Like, am I doing okay?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a time where you can be open and honest, say whatever you gotta say. Or I'll bounce him off Malik. Hey Malik, this happened. Like, did I overreact or am I bugging? You know what I'm saying? He'll do it to me. So I think it's good to have that accountability, you know what I'm saying, and see, okay, are we putting in enough effort?
Yeah.
Does this look like enough effort from the outside? Because it could look like it to us,
Yeah.
but then outside looking in, it's not. You know what I'm saying?
And if you're so that's for the married sense. And if you're single, I mean, most men have like one guy that they can talk to and so forth. Like, in our minds, we think we're one thing, right? When I changed my life, in my mind, I thought it was one thing. But when I started saying everything out loud, I was like, man, I'm trash. As my friend Eunice would say, man, I'm trash.
Might as well wave to her.
Hell, hey.
Shout out to Eunice.
Man, I'm trash. And so, yeah, man, it is big. Accountability is big. You gotta be able to just speak.
You gotta have that one guy in your corner who's not afraid to tell you the truth about yourself.
Yeah, you don't want
And
a
be
bunch of yes men. It's not cool.
Yeah, someone who's just like, hey, blah blah blah, and they're like, nah, you wrong.
Yeah,
you
don't wear that.
All right.
Chain or hat or loafers
Or both chains.
Or colors.
or colors
Don't stand that way.
or anything regarding that.
Just don't wear it.
Benjamin,
Whoever that may be.
whoever that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're having a moment over there. I don't know who they're referring to.
Benjamin's coming soon. He went to the went to the restroom.
Benjamin
Oh, no,
comes.
that's the thing. So I started calling him Benjamin at night. for when it's dark out.
Yeah.
Because he's all groggy.
After 7 p.m.
You know what? That's gonna be his alter ego.
It
You're
is.
gonna be Benjamin. Yeah.
No, y'all don't want Benjamin.
You're gonna be.
Benjamin.
So Benjamin.
He already exists apparently.
Benjamin's a
Nah,
thing.
y'all don't want Benjamin.
Nah, man.
He's already there. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode. We pray that this conversation has given you food for thought and to start your own conversations with the circle of brothers and grow in authentic manhood.
And we'd love to hear your responses in the comment section on whatever platform you're listening to us on. Just remember, follow us on Instagram at 4mbm.podcast.
We are 4Man B Man. We'll see you next time.